Scott, aka Sydney MGTOW here today. Sorry guys, I'm fumbling from the word go. I've just had a massive sleep. It's been a big few days. Had a big night last night and didn't get a lot of sleep, and then I've been driving for a lot of today. So I really appreciate you all tuning in. And today I want to talk to you about positive masculinity. Chris, why did you have to comment on my previous video? Bro, I love you. Thank you so much. Now it sounds like I'm sucking your dick by doing this video, but that's got nothing to do with it. I actually, genuinely this morning, I saw your positive masculinity video. Chris can too, amazing guy. Check his video out in the description, have a read. Hey, MGTOW Farmer, how you doing, bro? Welcome to the live stream. Thank you for joining. Yeah, so, man, Chris, I really appreciate all the work you do, and I want to talk about and amplify the message that you put out there today via your positive masculinity video that you did. So guys, Chris is right. We all hear this talk from these purple-haired rhinoceri about, toxic masculinity. Guys, there's nothing toxic about masculinity. I know you hear it. Let that shit roll off your back like water off a duck's back. Have you ever seen water roll off a duck's back? That shit just beads. It's like a car that's been waxed 20 times over. It's just like phew, straight off. So forget what they're saying, okay? These people do not understand and have never experienced what it is to feel the essence of masculinity. Don't take it to heart, right? We are born leaders. We are MGTOW. We're not here to sit there and fight against people. And I'm really glad that, look, this whole video is going to be referring back to things Chris have said, but I don't care. And I just wanted to say that there's been some infighting in the last couple of weeks, and Chris raised a very good point. Fucking oath. Like, they are trying to divide us. They are trying to use divide and conquer tactics. Motherfuckers. But you know what? We've exposed that. We know what they're trying to do. We will not be divided anymore. I did a video the other day on Eli. I'm not a fan of what he's been doing or what he's been saying about Chris and my other MGTOW brothers. The people that are out there every day busting their fucking ass to help our fellow man. But, I understand that he doesn't understand what we understand and doesn't know what we know, and therefore can't speak on what we speak on in a way that aligns with us. So, maybe I shouldn't have done that video about him the other day, but, I'm not going to apologize for saying what I feel at the time, but I'm constantly evolving and changing with what I want to do. I haven't had a cup of tea in days, so I'm really, really loving this right now. And guys, if you do like that mug, I do have it in the link to the store that you can buy it on. I found it online. I know that all proceeds do actually go back to Project Mayhem and towards bolstering MGTOW up and spreading the word in 2018 and moving forward. And Chris, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Like, big respect to the guy, man. He puts his name out there. Chris can too. Like, he's not hiding from anyone. He gave up his fucking job. Like, he lost everything and rebuilt from the ground up. That's what being a man is all about. That's what being masculine is all about. Being able to tell your truth, and even when shit goes south, you make it work and you take it back north again. We are fighters, man. We are MGTOW. We don't sit down. We don't lay in the fucking grass and let the ants crawl over us. That's not who we are, right? And taking ownership of yourself is exactly what positive masculinity is all about. It's about saying, I don't give a fuck what you think of me because I'm honest and I have integrity and I have decency and I tell the truth. And I tell the truth as a man, even when you don't want to hear it. Even when I think that shit's going to get me thrown in jail. Even when I think that shit's going to lose me my job. Even when that shit's going to lose me my friends and my relationships. You stand up and you tell the fucking truth. You don't shy away from that. Right? And you do it with dignity. You do it with honesty. I know I've said the word honesty and integrity like a million times already. Over exaggerating, but I've overused it in the video already. But that's what everything's about, And it's when you find yourself in a position where the system of gynocracy turns around and shits on you, and you still stand up. You fucking stand up and you say, I'm a man, I'm a MGTOW. I don't let people shit on me. I make it work for myself. I pick up the pieces and I walk away and I rebuild stronger than ever before. So man, when I put my face and my name to this, I know one day I'm probably going to lose my job. I know one day someone that I care about is going to turn around and go, "You're a fucking asshole, you're a misogynist." I'm going to say, you know what? At least I tell the truth. At least I don't listen to people that are full of shit. At least I don't let people stand over me and tell me what I can and can't think or can and can't do. And this leads me to my next part of this video. And exactly what Chris was talking about, the systems of control, the gynocracy, the government, the tax department. These motherfuckers have been taking from us from day one. Right? And even worse, like, I cannot even begin to quantify how it's been allowed to happen that men make the majority of money in this world. They do the majority of hours. They do the majority of the hard work. They do the majority of the dangerous work. They create the majority of the income and they pay the majority of the tax. Yet women control 85% of consumer spending. MGTOW Farmer, what do you got here, man? Sorry, guys, I'm just reading the chat. When I was told by another man that I've never met, someone with as much integrity as me, that I cringed. I found that to be sad that no one else spoke the truth in his life. Fucking oath, man. Fucking oath. It is sad that people don't tell the truth. But a lot of people don't tell the truth because they don't know the truth. They don't sit back and look at what's going on. They don't sit back and challenge everything they ever believed up to this moment. They don't understand what's really going on. They don't understand. And it's up to you, men, and up to me, and up to Chris Cantu, and up to MGTOW 101, up to MGTOW Mindframe, up to Misandry Today, up to Independent Man, up to all of these amazing content creators to spit the fucking truth. Thank you, James B. Men are farmed like cattle from birth. Absolutely. We make the meat for everyone to consume. We don't sit there and go, pull on my titties and make some milk and put it in a fucking carton. No. We die so you can have meat. We don't stand there and have our tits pulled on so you can have milk, okay? We die for your meat. We put the food on your plate. Anyone who's on daddy government, anyone who's receiving benefits, you wouldn't receive those if men didn't make the money and pay the taxes for you to have that. Now, I don't know about any of you in Australia, but every single year when you get what's called your notice of assessment telling you what your tax return is for the year, it actually has a pie chart. And the next notice of assessment you get, whether you haven't done your taxes yet this year, whether you've already got it and you haven't looked at it, or whether you're going to get it when you do your taxes next year, I want you to have a look at that notice of assessment because that shows a pie chart of exactly what the government spends money on. And the largest chunk of money that is spent in Australia is on welfare. You got all these single mums, and look, I know some single mums that they work their fucking ass off and they don't ask for a cent from the government and they don't ask for a cent from the father of the children, okay? And that's a rarity, and I respect that when people do it. Because that's taking ownership and accountability for your own life choices and for your own children and for your own life and your own costs and expenses, okay? But there are a lot of women out there that they depend on the government, that they rely on it. They expect money from daddy government. Every second Thursday, if there's not money in their bank account, they're on the phone, they're screaming. Oh, where's my money? No, that's not your money. You didn't work for it. You don't deserve that. But the government gives it to you, and that money is from men. It's from men like me. It's from men like Chris Cantu. Well, not anymore because he's off the grid with his cash. Smart man, I respect that. That's why crypto is so important for MGTOW, okay? But you've got all the big corporates. You've got the soy boys, you've got the manginas, you've got the super cocks, all working for daddy government and all working for the big corporations, bringing home the paycheck, and then they're sitting going, I'm a good man, I provided, I paid my taxes. It's like, do you know what you're paying your taxes to? Do you know that your government doesn't give a fuck about you? I actually spoke to somebody who's a child caseworker for Family and Community Services last night. And I'll never ever breathe a soul about who this person was to anybody. Now, this person told me that when a child or a person's been in an abusive situation, it's usually the children, if they've been in an abusive situation that has been quantified and is actually abusive, they will work together. They changed the laws last year, okay? So they used to just take kids away from the family. You know, like this is daddy government taking your kids from you. But, you know, at least they've changed the laws so that they're actively working towards restoration of families now by way of positive and productive measures. But what I found out was that they are working to restore families where there's been abuse towards the children. But outside of family and community services which deal with abuse of children, you've then got the family court, which is an entity unto itself. And I was talking to this guy, I said, that's great that you are trying to get all of these families back together. Like, I really admire that you're doing that because kids need their fathers. And she agreed. She also agreed that the violence of women towards men is far more prevalent than feminists would have you believe. Far more prevalent than White Ribbon and Our Watch and all these misandric agencies that governments are giving millions upon millions upon millions of your fucking tax dollars to fund these bitch feminists who are fucking all us men over and trying to take our kids from us and trying to tell us that we're toxic because we're men. You don't know what toxic is. You don't know what toxic is until you look in the mirror. You vile pieces of shit that are doing this. You don't understand. Maybe you do, but you're just too toxic to give a fuck. And I said to this woman, I said, okay, so, you know, what about in situations where, you know, maybe there's no actual abuse of the child going on because the child is not in the family anymore because of abuse claims or whatever it may be. She said, oh, well, that man's got to go to family court. I said, okay, and what happens when they get granted custody? And they said, well, when they get granted custody, then they get to see their kids. Well, you know, visitation rights or whatever court-ordered access it is. And I said, and what if the parent who has custody of the children doesn't allow them to see their children? And she said, oh, well, they've got to go back to family court. And I said, what if that person can't afford to go back to family court? And she looked at me and she knew that the argument was over. She wasn't arguing with me. She was just, you know, going with the flow of the conversation. And she just looked at me and knowingly and just said, well, you know, it's a problem with the family court. And men, if you live in Australia, what I implore you to do, what I ask of you as men fighting for fairness and the takedown of this gynocracy, is to write to your local member and talk about this issue. I want you to ask, why is it that custodial parents are not held accountable for their actions and or lies in court to actively try and remove you from their family, remove you from your own children? Thanks, guys. I see you got 4 in the live stream. Thank you for jumping in. If you're just jumping on this from if the video has been shared with you, please hit subscribe, hit the bell, share this on Facebook. Let's get the message out there. I really want to empower more men with this. Hit the thumbs up. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate all the support you give me. But yeah, I want you to write into your local member and I want you to ask them, hey, Irish MGTOW, thanks for joining in, man. But yeah, I want you to write to your local member and I want you to ask them the question: why are people allowed to get away with not following court orders? Why is it that the people who get fucked over have to go back to court and have to pay for it? And then the people who keep breaking the court orders are not held accountable. Tell them, this is what I want done in 2018. All right, look, Rome wasn't built in a day, guys. We can't ask them to fix the whole gynocracy in one day, okay? But we're going to do it step by step. We're going to break it down. We have to get fathers back into the picture. We have to stop allowing mothers that alienate their fathers from their kids to take control of the minds of their kids and turn them against men, to turn them into fucking feminists and soy boys. We need to take the power back, and we can only do that by taking the power back through the voting system. The government wants our votes. And the more men tell that government that we will not fucking vote for you unless you give us this, the more power we will get back. The more we'll be able to have kids back in the care of their fathers, and the more those kids can grow up masculine once again and bring back positive masculinity and eradicate the toxic masculinity, if you're going to call it that the mothers that alienate kids from their fathers are putting into the minds of their children. Let's take this away from people that alienate the kids. Let's take this away from vile people. Let's give kids back to their fathers. Let's give them their role models back. Let's do this, guys, by way of writing to your local member and telling them that this is what has to happen, because I will never, ever, ever vote for you again if we do not get action on this. And I'll be watching you at the next polls. They need to know they're being fucking watched. They need to know your eyes on them. They need to know exactly what is going on and that you will not stand for this. Sorry, guys, just had a bit of a dry throat. MGTOW farmer, yeah. Only toxic masculinity is that displayed by the soy boys. Man, MGTOW farmer, I gotta say, the soy boys don't know what masculinity is about. The soy boys have been raised by single mothers that have not allowed there to be a positive influence in their kid's life, or they haven't allowed a positive male role model. Right? Toxic masculinity is not a thing. Masculinity is not toxic, has not ever been toxic, and will never be toxic. Masculinity is the force that built this earth, and is the force that will continue to build this earth upwards, upwards, upwards. And we need to continue to spread this positive masculinity. All masculinity is toxic. Sorry, all masculinity is positive. Fuck, I'm tired, man. Shit, I need to get some sleep tonight. What feminists talk about when they talk about toxic masculinity, that isn't masculinity that's gone toxic. That's aggressiveness. That is men that have a problem and need to address the issues they have. And quite often these issues stem from being raised by single mothers, from being raised in a family where there's an abusive mother or an abusive father. I'm not saying like there aren't some abusive fathers out there, but that abusive father was probably abused as well. And the mothers have never been held in check, and that maybe they've been abused as well. Or maybe they've just been empowered and told that they're entitled to everything, right? And this entitlement mindset is what's fucking our country up. When everyone puts their hand out and say, oh, I deserve this, I'm entitled to this, this is mine. No, you are not entitled to anything. You are entitled to respect when you earn respect. You are entitled to money when you earn money. You are entitled to be heard when you have a voice that is free of hatred and that spreads a message that is full of truth and that is full of a message that needs to be heard. Right? And I'm sure that there's voices out there that disagree with me on stuff, okay? And I'm not saying you guys don't need to be heard. But if you only want your message to be heard so someone else doesn't get to be heard, that's not the right reason for being heard. Right? That's not a positive message. You know, let's have some open discourse. And I'm grateful that the UK has actually stepped up to this fucking social justice shit and realized that they actually need to do something about the indoctrination that's happening in university. And I hope this is going to spread all over the Western world, because the only reason that gender studies degrees came about that taught women how to join the oppression Olympics, and brought about all this identity politics with trans and people of color and all this bullshit that's going on, all this oppression narrative. Gender studies was a subject that was put into schools with a very, 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 very low tertiary entrance ranking, or UAI as we call it in Australia now, so that women who were not good enough and who were not intelligent and who didn't work hard enough to get into university could still get into university under the grounds of fucking diversity and equal opportunity. Fuck gender studies. It's just telling women how to be victims. And until you learn how to not be a victim anymore, you will never have power over yourself, and you will never have power over others. The people that understand what it is to take ownership of their lives will always, always have the power over you. MGTOW 2018, baby. But anyway, guys, look, 5 of you on the live stream, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate the love you show me. I look forward to continuing to produce daily videos, even when I'm short on time. You men deserve it. You men deserve it. You men deserve to have a voice out there. You men deserve to have a voice that doesn't give a fuck if he gets fired for helping other men, because that's what we're all about. We're uplifting. And and I know that men, the way that you can help me is by sharing this video with other men. That's how you can help me. That's how you can help me to continue to help you. We have to do this together, men. We have to remain united. We have to remain a brotherhood and united without allowing people to divide and conquer us, without allowing people to split us because they're trying to drive a wedge. Without allowing people to do that, the systems of control, the government, daddy government, they cannot control us anymore. If we go off the grid with solar, if we go off the grid with crypto, I was even thinking today that if I ever had a kid, you know, I would probably, you know, man, like it's hard for me, right? Because I'm MGTOW, but I want to have kids one day. You know, like as a man, bringing up a next generation, that's what masculinity has always been founded on, in my view. Right? But I just refuse to do that under the current system of control. I refuse to do that under the current framework that puts a gun to my fucking head. I will not be taken for a fool. I will not be taken down. I will not be controlled. I am my own man. I am Scott, aka Sydney MGTOW, signing out. Men, MGTOW is freedom. MGTOW 2018 will be our greatest year and our greatest accomplishment ever. Please go and support Chris Cantu and his channel. He is heading up Project Mayhem and he's doing amazing things for us MGTOW brothers, even though we don't see it. You know, he's spitting truth bombs every fucking day and he inspired me, as well as MGTOW 101, to go and make my videos and go and, you know, continue to spread my truths and spread the word about what's going on and spread the word about, you know, how you guys can be better men. You know, and not better men because you're not good men already, but better, even more empowered men, even stronger, even more masculine, even more steadfast men. You know, even more powerful, where you stand up and you say, I create my own rules, I create my own freedoms, and I have the fucking penis. Positive Masculinity 1000. Thank you, Chris Cantu. Thank you, my MGTOW brothers. Have an amazing night. It's been a wonderful New Year's Day, and I can't wait to see what the 2018 holds in store for all of you red pill empowered men that know. Oh man, I don't like using the term empowered men because fucking women use that all the time. Oh, I'm an empowered woman. Yeah, okay, we got it. You're doing shit for yourself. All right, we're doing shit for ourselves. That's why we're men going our own way. Anyway, brothers, have a great day, or if you're in Australia or somewhere else where it's closer to dark, have a great night. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate you spending the time with me here today, and I look forward to tomorrow's video and seeing you all in there. Thank you.